Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the GabNet Tour bus. Today our tour will take us up and around the newly designed GabNet.net webpage. For your safety, please stay seated while the bus is in motion and enjoy your trip. Also, remember that tipping your tour guide is greatly appreciated. Okay, we're off. The first place of interest that we're going to pass on the top left, you'll see a rotating billboard of all of the great GabNet programs. Legend has it that legendary broadcaster Alex Bennett created this billboard to attract early visitors to GabNet and to lure them into his site. To this day, it's one of the top attractions on our tour. Up next, look over at the top right and you'll see the most recent video of Alex Bennett's Ramble. And if you're lucky enough, we'll see Alex interacting with the citizen panel. Always a tour highlight. Did I mention that tipping your tour guide is greatly appreciated? As we approach the bottom of the Ramble video, we see quick links to all the ways that you can connect with GabNet programs. Facebook Live, YouTube, TuneIn, Livestream, Vimeo, and the GabNet Roku channel. They're all additional stops that you can make if you choose to step off the bus. But remember, please tip your tour guide if you do, and then you can hop on the next bus. Here's another highlight on our tour. On the left side, you'll see GabNet On Demand. You can quickly access any of the most recent programs there. Clearly, a value spot on our tour because downloads are at no extra cost. Please give your attention now to the right side. Look at the complete tutorial on how easy it is to become a citizen panelist. By the way, if you're a Luddite, there's a phone number that you can use to dial in. Okay, we're nearing the halfway point on our trip. I certainly hope that you're enjoying it. Oh look, there's the convenient call Skype button that you can click on, which will automatically connect you to the citizen panel. So now we're turning down the center of the page. I don't want you to miss any of these attractions, so please pay attention. Up first is a link to the 24/7 feed. Now these are going to come fast and furious, so pay attention. Next is a quick note on how you can hear GabNet on Amazon Echo. Next, quickly coming behind that, and this is always exciting, a screen that shows Alex Bennett's Ramble when it is live, with a countdown to the next show. It's always fun when we pass and the show is live. We're winding down our tour of GabNet.net, but before we reach our final stop, it's important to note that there is a place for you to contact them with your comments. Let them know how you like GabNet.net and the GabNet programming. And with that, we wrap up our tour. Remember, as you step off the bus, to please be careful. And also remember that GabNet is talk like you've never heard or seen it before. Did I mention, please tip your tour guide?
Reasons why you tune into GabNet. Here's reason number 9. Great celebrity guests.
So how many years is this now with Teller?
43, and that's 43 continuous. You can try to say Keith Richards and Mick Jagger go longer, but they take 3, 4, 5 years off. You know, even when they're together, they take the time off. Continuous, you know, no more than 2 weeks working apart, I think.
Wow. And
like being waterboarded for 43 years.
GabNet. Reasons to listen every day. Log on to GabNet.net for more. GabNet. It's talk like you've never heard it before. Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
now I sing. Aren't you going to sing with me? Hello, everybody. This is me.
I'm watching Damien.
This is Alex. This is the Ramble. We go until midnight Eastern Daylight Time, and
It's Friday. It's Friday.
And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. The little woman.
The little woman is here.
Remember when they used to say that? When they used to call you like the little woman
who's in the kitchen.
That was the
little woman who's in the kitchen.
Yeah, a little woman in the kitchen, and making up the vittles.
I'm watching Damien.
Yeah, I do most of the cooking.
Goes so fast.
I do most cooking in the house now.
No, you don't.
Yes,
I cook on weekends.
No, you don't.
I do.
What's the last thing you cooked?
Pasta last week.
Huh?
Pasta.
Wait a minute.
Sausage and meatballs.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you went out. Wait a minute. Sausage and meatballs. She made sausage and meatballs. Here's how she makes sausage and meatballs.
The week before
She buys the meatballs at Fairway and the sausage at Fairway, and then the sauce is from Fairway.
Oh, let's talk about your hamburger.
Well,
you buy it already prepared. You put some sauce on it, and there it goes.
Okay, but how about my ribs I made this week?
That's fine. Well, how about the shrimp fried diablo that I made the week before?
I can't even see you.
I don't care.
Move the hat. You have to move the hat up a little bit.
I don't want to move the hat up.
Well, then
sorry.
Then look at them a little bit.
Hi.
Then. Yeah. See. Yeah.
I'm wearing a dusty old hat.
Yeah. It's hard for me to be nasty with you.
Why?
Because I'm on this drug. It makes me really amiable.
Well, it's about time.
Yeah, I mean, haven't I been a delight to get along with lately?
Yeah, if we have to go over the last 15 years.
Wait a minute. 15. It hasn't been 15 years. Has it been 15
2004.
Years? That's not 15 years.
What is it?
It's 14 years.
We're on our way. We're in our 15th year.
14th year. 14th year. Well, I got to tell you, how do you just sit here all day and you watch the news.
This is my day off.
No, but you sit here and watch the news.
That's
all
after
day long.
3 hours in the gym. So fuck you, buddy.
Well, wait a minute. The gym isn't working. The gym is recreation.
That's not recreation. It's working.
No, but it's recreation. It's not like you're going to a job at the gym.
It's a job for my physical well-being.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And how's that going for you?
Good.
I was talking to my physical therapist today. We were talking about your body kind of breaking down. He said that he was very big into sports, and as he's gotten older, he can't do it anymore because he's had one thing or another go wrong. He had something in his back, and he had to have a rod put in there.
Oh, God.
And I said, all you people who do all this exercising seem to have all these physical problems that I've never had to face.
You can't even walk straight up.
What do you mean I can't
walk?
You
walk bent over like an old Jewish
man. I'm walking very straight up lately.
I'm not.
Yes, I am.
I'll take a picture.
Oh, boy. Another one of those pictures you can show to friends.
That's right.
She has this picture of me when I weighed...
The before picture.
When I weighed 800 pounds.
Yeah, it's the before picture. Blow it up into a 2x4 and hung it on the refrigerator.
I don't think I was actually that fat. I think it was the light.
Give me a fucking break. Oh, my God, it was the lighting. Or why don't you use the old excuse why you always look 10 pounds heavier in a photograph?
Well, when you get a chance, take the photograph from there, and put it on your desktop so I can move it over to here, and then I'll put it on the air next week.
You promise?
Oh, sure. I'm happy to. Look how skinny I am now.
I could do it right now.
I would have to do all the moving over and everything.
Okay.
Like
Next week, folks, check in.
Yeah.
His before picture.
Yeah. But,
look, I'm very proud of you. It's very good that you did it.
And
you did it for yourself.
For the most part, I've kept it off. A lot of people...
You're fine. Just stop talking about it all the time.
In fact, I was talking, again, to the physical therapist about it, and I said... I sometimes beat myself up a lot about this.
No, you don't.
But the fact is that I have gone about 2 years without basically putting on any weight.
You took off weight.
Well, no, I've stabilized. I go down low a little bit, and I go up.
You started the diet in December, so you had to take...
This was 2 years ago.
I'm talking about 2 years ago.
Yeah, but what I'm saying... No, I didn't start it in December. I started a year before that. I've been...
Right, but it was Thanksgiving.
I lost that weight and have kept it off for 2 years.
Yeah, year and a half.
a year
and a
and
half, because it
3/4.
took you.
Anyway, I haven't gained it back. And he
Right.
said,
But he
most
doesn't
people
stop talking about
wait a
it.
minute, hold
Oh
on a
my
second.
God. Oh my God, that
Okay.
piece of celery. You think there's any carbs in it? Oh my God, this piece of bread, I can't eat it. I've got to check the carbs.
Yeah, well, that's what's keeping the weight off, dear, because I was talking to him, and he said he knows a lot of guys who've come in, they've gone through a weight loss thing, lost like 50 pounds, and within a year, it's all back on plus. You know, so if you want to see me go back to that, then
I don't, it's not my body.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It's yours to use.
No, it's not.
Yes, you can use it in any way you wish.
Damage piece.
Her idea of using my body in any way she can is to have me make lunch. You know.
Give me a break.
Mm.
Turn it on.
She always what?
Turn the thing on.
What on?
I think we should bring people, because I want to be part of the conversation.
Well, you can stick around.
I don't want to stick around. I have to get up early.
I have some things to show people here. Because today was quite a day for Trump being Trump.
Oh, God.
I have his tweet here. This tweet is...
Which one?
The one that reads, Republicans are doing so well in early voting and at the polls, and now this bomb stuff...
It was probably bomb shit, and then he
this
changed it.
bomb stuff happens. Yes, bomb stuff happens. And the momentum greatly and the momentum greatly slows news not talking politics. In other words, this means, this bomb has upstaged me,
Well, that's
and now you're
exactly
not
it.
talking about me, you're talking about the bomb.
That's right.
Those bombs weren't an important story, eh? Listen, I don't know why he feels so bad. There was a guy driving a van around Florida advertising him. Anyway, very unfortunate what's going on. Republicans, go out and vote. This bomb stuff. Now, there's another one you didn't see that I got here.
Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have it. Oh, or do I have it? No, I don't. I guess I don't. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me go get it for you. Get it for you here. Image. Let me see here. Image, and then I want image 2, and I'm gonna go. Where is it? I'm sorry. I have a problem here.
It's 10:13.
Well, let me read you the other one. Okay, then
Read it.
Okay, cancel. Okay, let me go get the other one here. Listen to this one. I thought I put this up. I'm sorry, folks.
Read it.
Funny how lowly rated CNN. Now, this is a couple of days after CNN has
Gets
a
the
bomb
bomb.
scare. You know, rather than call CNN and say, I know we have our differences, but I want to check in and make sure and see how you are.
Or call one of the two presidents.
Well, that's what you do.
That's right.
But, you know, he's afraid to call those presidents. There's a good reason why he's afraid to call those presidents.
He's a piece of shit.
Because he's a piece of shit, exactly. But anyway, you know, to be presidential, you call these people and you say, are you okay? You know, you feeling all right? You know, sorry to hear about it. No, he doesn't do any of that. Instead, he says, funny how low-rated CNN and others can criticize me at will, even blaming me for the current spate of bombs, and ridiculously compare this to September 11th and the Oklahoma City bombing. Now, tell me, has anybody compared this to 9/11 and the Oklahoma City bombing? Did
No,
you
it's in a box all by itself.
You watched the news continually during this thing. I mean, you were like addicted to it.
Yeah, and I
right?
watch it in the office.
Did they
too.
ever compare it to 9/11 or
No.
Oklahoma City? Well, he's hearing some news I haven't heard. Yet when I criticize them, they go wild and scream. What? Wait a minute. Hold on.
This is the president of our country.
Blaming me for the current spate of bombs and the ridiculously comparing this to September 11th and the Oklahoma City bombing. Yet, when I criticize them, they go wild and scream. It's just not presidential. That tweet in and of itself wasn't particularly presidential.
But you know, everything that he says about people, it's really about himself that he's talking about.
Yeah. He's a shithead.
He really is.
He's a real shithead. Oh, listen, let me go find something here.
Must you?
Well, yes, because I think I forgot. I put it up and then I took it down. Let me see here. Wait a minute. Okay.
Excuse me.
What are you doing? Why are you yawning?
I'm tired.
Wait a minute. I got to find something here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. Vanity cards. I want to read you what Chuck Lorre wrote as a vanity card.
Oh, this is great. This is great.
Let me tell you.
Background.
Let me explain. Chuck Lorre is a producer of some of the most successful shows in television. He does The Big Bang Theory, does Mom. What's the other show? He's got Young Sheldon. I mean, he had 2.5 Men. That one. Anyway, very successful TV producer. And what he does at the end of every show, you know how every producer puts their logo for their company on at the end, and his logo every week is a little thing he's written. And they're called vanity cards, and they go by so fast. The only way you're going to read them is if you freeze frame your DVR, okay? And then you can read them. This was the one from last night, and
this is great.
Let me see here. Let me just move this over to this screen so I can read it a little better, and also not. It says It says My Prayer, and this went up on CBS last night. Okay, but very quick. It lasts for about maybe 2 seconds, something like that. God, I call you that, even though I suspect thou art well beyond names and words, and might actually be some sort of ineffable quantum situation. I humbly beseech thee to make thy presence known on November 6th. Demonstrate your omnipotence through us, and make as we make ink marks on the little circles in curtain booths. Of course, if you in your divine wisdom believe a fascist, hate-filled, fear-mongering, demagogic, truth-shattering, autocratic golf cheater is what we need right now, then you know thy will be done. But if thou art inclined to more freedom, more love, more compassion, and just more of the good stuff thou hast been promoting in our hearts and our no boy, I don't know what this word is, parietal lobes, either one doesn't really matter. I submissively ask that thou encourage voter turnout in the general direction. Also, God, please help Bob Mueller. Guide him to make him strong, brave, wise, and true. And yes, I know there must be thousands of guys named Bob Mueller or Mueller. So why not help them all, just to be on the safe side? Amen. Oh, I almost forgot. Remind those who collaborate with the darkness that thou art the light, and the light is not above whipping out a little Old Testament wrath. Amen again.
It's great.
Yeah. And you can, and that went up on CBS last night. And if you don't think the censors read them, they do.
They do?
Because he's had some that he's put up and it went censored.
Right across it?
Yeah, just instead of the text, it just said
Have you ever
censored.
seen any of the ones that have been censored?
No, but he doesn't publish them. It just says censored.
He should do a book.
I'm sure a book is going to come out. He's done hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And some of them are absolutely brilliant.
And have a whole section for the censored.
Absolutely brilliant. And that one, it's a little hard to read because it was very small. That one last night was just, I imagine the people at CBS looked at it and went, oh, that's his opinion. They just let it go because it had nothing dirty in it or anything else. But I love that whole thing about, golf cheating. They list all these horrible hate-mongering, whatever, and golf cheater.
Well, he is.
Yeah. Does he cheat at golf?
Yeah, he's been known to cheat.
How does he cheat?
I don't know. Score. Who knows? Move the ball. Who knows with his foot?
God.
He's a fat fucking slob.
Yeah. Anyway, he didn't used to be a fat fucking slob. He had that playboy look to him.
His wannabe. His wannabe from Queens into Manhattan.
His what?
He was a wannabe.
A wannabe what?
Wannabe magnate in New York City.
Magnate.
As opposed to Queens.
Yeah, well, his father was against him coming into...
Oh, I didn't know he was against them.
No, yeah.
His father was
his
Queens.
father financed him, but his father was against the move because his father always felt that, hey, the fate of the world is in Queens. You know, we know how to make money here in Queens, and we're not competing against the really big guys. And that's how Fred Trump made his money. But Donald said he wanted to come into New York, so he built Trump Tower and a few other things. And he did more out of just pure publicity than anything else.
Well, he learned how to, instead of building, how to franchise your name.
Yeah, well, that's what he did.
That's what he ended up doing.
You know, all these buildings that have his name on them are basically a franchise.
Yeah.
Now, we have some friends that live down in a Trump apartment building.
And they were one of the first to...
down in Trump City, and they got
they're a condo, I think. And no, they're a co-op, and they all voted to take the Trump sign down.
Yeah, and then they had...
he threatened to sue them.
Yeah. But they took the Trump sign down. And part of the reason they wanted to is they bought these apartments, all right, and they wanted them to be worth something. And the name Trump on the building was taking value off the homes.
That's right.
And so other buildings have followed suit. And now
all of his buildings along West Side Avenue.
Well, in what was once called Trump City, right? No longer. I don't think there's a Trump sign up there.
There's a few.
Yeah. So this man is really well loved.
Oh God, what a piece of shit!
And believe it or not, it's not because people hated him. You know, that's not why they did it.
He's just so unqualified for this position.
Exactly. I
mean, you know, he might be a nice guy to hang out with, although I doubt it.
I doubt it.
But what he's doing to this country is what he's done to all of his businesses.
Yeah.
Everything went bankrupt. You know, what a great business guy this guy is.
He has a plan for this country. What he's going to do is burn the country down and get the insurance money. You know?
Yeah.
That's the way he does business. It's amazing that in a situation like we had in the last couple of days, it was time for him to be presidential. And by that I mean...
He doesn't know how.
If you just take a page from his asshole friend Rudy Giuliani, who when 9/11 happened knew how to be a mayor.
Oh, by the way, has anyone seen Rudy lately?
No, you don't see Rudy lately.
He just
Rudy's disappeared off the face of the map.
He's in a block of cement somewhere.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, Rudy was a good. Was very mayoral. He got on television. He made people feel safe. You know, he did all those things. And that's where he was good. But you got Trump. And what Trump should be doing right now is giving speeches, trying to calm people down, trying to say that everything's fine, and we really, maybe I've been aiding and abetting this situation. And maybe if I ask you to bring down the rhetoric, and I think that you're responsible for raising the rhetoric, even if he believes that, maybe I should do my part and by my own example
He has
cease
never,
mine.
ever apologized for anything. Ever.
Well, that's out of the Roger Stone book, playbook, which is never, and the Roger Stone's a Stone rule, okay? Never ever apologize. Yeah. No matter how wrong you might be, never ever apologize. The way he could have handled this was to say, look, a lot of people are saying my rhetoric has been a little incendiary. If that's true, I'm going to bring mine down. Everybody else, please bring yours down too.
He doesn't even know.
He doesn't know to do that.
He doesn't know anything. He has no...
Yeah. So he then goes out and he reads whatever was prepared for him, and then he gives a speech and lets everybody start yelling, "Lock her up, lock her up."
Yeah. A group of black kids from some type of leadership training were in the White House, and he's riling them up, and they're saying while he's talking, "Lock her up, lock her up." I mean, what is happening?
He's giving it, and he just gave the speech on how we should all get together.
The teleprompter.
Yeah, like lock who up? I mean, Hillary's an old story. This isn't even you know, forget it. You're not competing. She's not going to run again, Donald. Don't worry about her. You know, it's like he's still competing against Hillary Clinton.
That's true.
And I don't get it.
Okay, I think it's time.
No, it's not
yes,
time
it is.
yet. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. So what did you think about the whole Megyn Kelly thing?
Oh man, but you know that wasn't the first time the blackface. She came out about a year ago and said Jesus and Santa Claus are white. You know?
Yeah, you can't have a black Santa Claus.
You can't have a black Santa
white.
Claus, and Jesus was never black.
Well, to begin with, mythical characters can be any color you want to make them. You know, I don't know what she was trying to say in that discussion. I think maybe she was trying to say, well, it's Halloween and people should be able to...
She was saying when I was a little girl and people dressed up in blackface, it was okay. It wasn't an issue.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's been a lot of misinformation, though. One of the pieces of misinformation was I heard somebody saying, oh, well, you know, minstrel shows were making a mockery of black people. And that's not true. That's not what the minstrel show was. The minstrel show, in fact, yes, it was white guys dressed up in blackface, but they were being very loving of the blacks and the minstrel music and so on and so forth.
That was during the era when blacks weren't allowed to appear.
What I'm saying is minstrel shows in and of themselves were not pejorative against blacks.
Well, in a way they were, because blacks were not allowed or permitted
but actually there were some blacks in minstrel shows.
Very few.
And believe it or not, they had to wear white lips, so they looked like they were white guys in blackface. But the fact was that the minstrel show, as a show, was simply a kind of show, right? And it was a stylization. And it was just a musical variety show with people dressed up in blackface. You know, you had one of the biggest stars in America was Al Jolson. And Al Jolson would put, I have a video of him doing his plantation.
It was in one of his movies, wasn't it?
Oh, well, he had one film. I'm trying to remember the name of it, where he sings Going to Heaven on a Mule. And he does the film in blackface. And there are actual black actors in the film and black people dancing around him while he's got this blackface on. And you got to go, what were they thinking? I know they were thinking, hey, we got a job, we're working.
And that was, 70 years ago. So
yeah.
For her to say that now, that it's totally acceptable.
But blackface, Eddie Cantor was a blackface artist. And it was just a form of show business.
Because blacks were not allowed. I mean, well, that's why.
Well, a black wasn't allowed to be Al Jolson.
A black wasn't allowed to perform in white theaters.
Yeah, but Al Jolson put on. I'm trying to say that the blackface was not necessary. What are you doing? What are you doing? You got 1 minute left. You got 1 minute left.
It's terrible.
Then Al Jolson wasn't making fun of black people. He just did blackface, and for some reason I don't understand. He's a Jewish guy. I'm Jewish. I would never put on blackface.
But you weren't around 70 years ago when they were doing all this.
Yeah, I know. But it was a form of show business at the time. But anyway.
Anyway, back to Megyn Kelly. Where's she going to go?
Fox doesn't want her.
They don't want her.
They say that actually Tucker Carlson is getting ratings that are just as good as she was getting.
Better.
Yeah, better.
They said better.
So I don't believe that, but they don't want her back because there's bad blood there. You're sneaking over, aren't you? Look, she's slowly coming into my picture. Watch, you'll see her. There she is. There she is.
Hello.
Yes, glad to see you. Glad you could drop by. Here, why don't you get in the frame? Get away from my golf ball.
I am. I'm trying to.
Okay, that's my physical therapy. Okay, I will turn on the.
See my T-shirt?
It's a little warm in here tonight, isn't it?
See my T-shirt?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little warm in here tonight. I don't have the heater on in here. Never have the heater on.
But it's always warm in here.
Because I got all this equipment. My throat has been
Enough.
All
right, open. Open.
No, I don't want to open. I open. The lines are open. It's just nobody's calling. So they see out there. They at home see that the lines are open. They know. Okay, so they know the lines are open. So it's a matter of them calling, and
checking in.
And checking in, right?
You like this hat?
We were going to go out to New Jersey tomorrow, but we're not going to.
A nor'easter is coming in tonight.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is it going to snow? It's not going to snow.
No, rain.
Yeah, because a nor'easter usually is accompanied by snow.
Well, because that's when they come in January, but this is October.
Oh, okay. So how do you describe, what is a nor'easter?
It's when two types of winds hit each other and they come together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, okay. So is it going to be really windy?
Very windy.
So I can't go to Costco tomorrow.
Of course you can go to Costco.
Of course I can get
No.
Try to get a cab. You can't get cabs out here anymore.
Call.
It's impossible.
We have those discount tickets in there. Call.
Call what?
The group that takes us home. That group from
what
Costco.
What group that takes us home?
From Costco. The taxis.
Oh, really?
They gave me a handful.
Oh, really? Oh,
there's a handful of discount tickets. Use them.
Well, here comes Jeff. Jeff's the first
there
one.
He is.
First one right out of the chute there.
Look at that handsome guy.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Why is it I'm not even seeing my face? Yeah, boy.
Can you see?
How you doing, guys? I don't know. There's something in the middle.
You look fine.
Please wait. Yeah.
You look fine.
You look great.
Yeah.
Well, let me try this.
Oh, I mean, here comes
Brian.
Brian.
Okay.
See, they're all beating Phil to the punch.
2 Fridays in a row, Brian. I can talk to Brian and see him.
Yes.
Usually he calls late.
There
he is.
There's Brian.
Hey.
Calling us from his hovel.
He's not in a truck.
He's not in his truck.
Yeah, no.
What is that blue thing you have in your hand?
It's my cell phone.
A blue?
Why is it blue? Is it a case blue? You just bought a blue case?
Jeff, can you see us? He can't see us.
Now I can see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Can you see us? You can see us now? Can you see everybody?
Yeah, but I got some junk in the middle. That's the problem.
This isn't the new Skype, is it?
Yeah, of course.
It is?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, lots of luck with that.
Well, you're going to all have to deal with it next week.
Well, no, not really. I'm not going to. Here's what's going to happen.
Here's Phil.
I'm going to keep using this one as long as I can, and when I can't anymore, I'll stop doing the video for the what do you call it? For the citizen panel. You know, we'll just go back to just doing audio only, making it a podcast. Hello, Phil. When are you gonna get your control board fixed?
I'm on.
I got to find some time. Today, I've got a company that I pay a monthly fee. Very small fee, but they're very good at fixing
this stuff. Apparently not.
Well, what I'm going to do over the weekend is call Apple.
I told you how to fix it.
Yeah, but I'm going to go one step further.
No. But first of all, what you're doing is you're trying to go in through the USB port, and there may be something in that doesn't work right between Mojave and the USB port output of that. So what you do is, as opposed to doing the output the input into your machine from a USB port, you just simply do it from one of the line outputs.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me do to you what you do to me. This is very boring. No, I'm
just saying it's a very simple answer, Phil. And
you were right. It was good.
I have a better way. I'm going to roll this piece of shit back to High Sierra, plug in the USB thing, and it works fine.
You don't know that.
It did before.
And how are you going to roll it back to High Sierra?
I'm calling Apple on Saturday or Sunday, and they'll walk me through it.
Well, I find High Sierra that the new Mojave has problems.
Yeah,
a lot of them. One of which was I use a program that's an encoder that puts the audio out, and we do that 24/7. And every now and then it crashes the program. Now that program has never crashed when it was in High Sierra. Never.
Right. I'm having problems with my printer, my big photographic printer. There's all sorts of issues with Mojave. So you know what? Yeah. I'm going to roll back.
I'll tell you what the other issue. I'll tell you what the other issue with Mojave, and this is for all you people out there who have Macs and are thinking about upgrading to Mojave, is that when I did the server, I had to literally turn the machine off and on a couple of times to get it to go to the next phase of installation. It didn't do it automatically. And the other machine, the other Mac Mini I have, had the same problem. That's why I haven't done hers. You know?
I don't want it done.
It installed flawlessly on my Mac Pro. So, I mean, it went...
Wait a minute. I know how you can just do it very simply if you want to bring back High Sierra.
With that, I'm saying good night. Okay. Too much technical. See you guys.
Do you
I would stay later if the conversation were more interesting.
I'm sure that with well, stick around because he'll be yelling, getting you pissed off if you stick around. Just give him time. No, well, with all the money you spend on stuff, I'm sure you have a backup drive.
No, I don't. I have backup. I have backup for all my data, but I have not backed up
Phil, you're an idiot.
What?
You're an idiot.
You've been calling me that for years.
I can't tell you how many times a backup drive has saved my life here. What do you
use for a backup drive? Time machine?
Any hard Time Machine is the hard drive program. The backup program that comes with the Mac. You simply get yourself another external hard drive. You hook. You start it. You start using your. You tell your. What do you call Time Machine program in your Mac that you want to use that drive as your backup, and that's all there is to it. And then you tell what you want to back up, and you say, back up the main drive because that's the one that has the system on it, and maybe your data you want to back that up.
Well, I have a Drobo, so I have 70 terabytes of storage. Plus, I have 2 more 4 terabyte drives that are backups to the backup.
All right. Well, you've got those backed up, so you don't need to back up your data, but you do need to back up that main drive. So that what I could tell you to do tonight, if you wanted to go back to High Sierra, was go back to a point in the Time Machine. Where you had High Sierra installed and just reinstall.
Well, yeah, I'm just going to let Apple walk me through it. That's why they get the big money.
They'll probably tell you can't go back to High Sierra because
no, there's got to be a way to uninstall.
Not necessarily, because Apple are pricks that way. They don't want you going backwards.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'll let you know on Tuesday.
All these companies are pricks,
Yeah.
They think they know better. I mean, Microsoft's one of the worst. I mean, what they're doing with Skype is pathetic.
A lot of them, when you try working for them, it's even worse than that. So.
Oh, really? Well, did you work for some of them?
Well, I'm just speaking more generalistically about, mostly transportation and logistics. They're just awful.
Yeah.
Well, if I can't roll it back,
at least in the area I live in, as I call it, uppity Fucksburg, where people are in love with the smell of their own farts. I mean, if it's not go Steelers, go Pens, go fucking the sports team, or go UPMC or healthcare, that we're the best healthcare in the fucking universe, bullshit rhetoric, uppity rhetoric, then it's.
Yeah. Don't they tell you that, Brian?
You understand where I'm coming from?
Brian, don't they say things like that because they're trying to make you feel like living in Pittsburgh isn't hell?
Well, isn't living in a lot of places, a lot of cities, pretty much hell? But anyway, I saw Jeff was reacting. I was wondering what you have to say about that.
Well, I think you have your own equipment, your own feeling about where you live, but I think a lot of people should think the same thing wherever they live too. A lot of things are pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And you gotta accept it, or you want to say, "Oh, this is wonderful."
Yeah.
I was watching a program before this called The Toughest Prisons in Russia.
That's for one English.
And that's a place you do not want to go.
Probably not.
You believe them, right?
Yeah, I believe
as far
them.
as the prisons in America are concerned, at least you get 3 meals. You just have to make sure you're not anybody's bitch.
Yeah, well, you can't be anybody's bitch there. They lock you in a cell with one other person, and you don't come out. They give you soup and bread. And most of these guys are in there for 22, 25 years.
Russia.
Yeah, and it's in Siberia where it gets 50 below.
On Sunday, you get bread with crust.
Yeah, really. But that was one depressing program. You know, the toughest prisons.
I've got to do something I don't want to do.
Honestly, that's why I tend to gravitate towards programming like that, or like mafia movies or true crime, because I don't like this fantasy matrix superhero spandex bullshit. I like to be made to feel worse than I am, just like I prefer nightmares over dreams if I have to dream at all, because when I wake up from the nightmare, then I'm waking up, or when I'm done watching that depressing program, I'm done being immersed in an environment worse than the environment I'm in anyhow.
Yeah. That's a good comparison.
I just had to turn on the air conditioner because it's so warm in here. Son of a bitch. So.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's hot here too. I don't know why.
Well, it's not hot here. In fact, the temperature outside is 44 degrees, but they do have the radiators on, and they haven't turned them off. They didn't make them go on and off, on and off, on and off, because the super is on vacation.
Oh, can't you turn like a spigot and stop them from...
We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. That causes...
Well, hell, I just turn on C-SPAN and listen to our illustrious president speak, and I'm in a world that's worse than, my home life here. I mean, Ben Patrick's right. He is our president. He's my president. He's Jeff's president, and he's Alex's president.
Come to think of it,
only because anything short, Alex and Jack Bishop, if you're listening, anything short of an armed insurrection, you cannot say you cannot say he's not.
Brian, there's a white van available in Florida, probably cheap. It's got a bunch of stickers on it, but it might be good for you.
It wouldn't have Clinton stickers, I can tell you that. It have probably wouldn't be marked at all.
By the way, Phil, what do you have to say about our assumptions about who the guy might have been?
I thought it was Brian, but
look, in anything like this, Brian, wait a minute, anybody? Well, we know that.
Yeah.
But then again, so is Trump.
No. Trump had nothing to do with this guy. This guy
formed
his own craziness.
Oh, wait a minute, Phil, come on. You have to take responsibility for creating an air of permission, for giving an air of permission for a guy like this. He didn't do anything let me put it this way. He didn't do anything that would mitigate this guy's craziness.
It's too late. The guy's been crazy for a long time.
No, but he isn't doing it now.
There's 4 of us here. And we've all heard Trump say the same things that this guy Sayak heard. Sayak acted on it. We don't act on things like that. We're not crazy. Just because
Phil,
Trump's
yes, and that's why. And I've told you often. I've told you many times, Phil, that I often felt as a broadcaster, one of the most important jobs I had was the protection of my audience. Was that I can't do anything that would hurt that audience, and one of those would be giving a sense of permission to somebody to do some kind of act which was not right, because there are crazy people out there, and you've got to be careful about that, and you have a responsibility when you're on the air. Well, as a president, you have that same responsibility. He did not have that responsibility. As a result, he gave solace to a nutcase like this.
Well, I happen to believe that anybody can be driven insane. It's just a matter of how long it takes to whittle you down to get to that point. So some of us, it may not be that long.
I mean,
it may not take that long,
they should have. People who saw this van driving around should have known it was him, because it was a rolling advertisement for all the people where he dropped the bombs off. They had pictures of all of them.
He's not very bright, because none of the bombs, like you said yesterday, none of the bombs that were mailed worked. Just like the son of a bitch, to be fair. Again, Patrick, if you're listening, call in, please. But if the guy who shot that congressman in that baseball game last year, his problem is his aim wasn't well trained enough. They're both pieces of shit.
He hit him. It's just that there was some police officers. Yeah, there was some police officers.
But here's the thing. Number one, I heard Sarah Fatface. Huckabee say that you didn't say this about the guy who was a fan of Bernie Sanders, who shot Scalise or whatever his name was.
Right.
And that was, I think, one of the most stupid things I ever heard, because in that particular case, you didn't hear Bernie Sanders using incendiary language and incendiary speeches, which would give people a sense of permission to do that.
Although, as Patrick said yesterday, and so did I the day before, you had people like Waters.
That's bullshit too. That's bullshit too, and I'll tell you why, Phil. I'll tell you why, Phil. Because what you're talking about is simply when you see a politician you disagree with, you should make your disagreement known to that politician.
She says, get in their face.
Well, yes, get in their face. Let them know your displeasure with what they're doing.
I shouldn't have sent you a book. I should have sent you blinders. Nobody, you got them on all the time.
Nobody said they had to go to these restaurants and be out in public.
Ah, come on.
Where in the English language does get in their face equate to get in their face and shoot them in the face?
Or get in their face and start yelling at them.
Where is that building a bomb or shooting a gun?
So what? If they want to lose their job, that's their right to say, okay, I'm not going to serve you.
This guy
fire me, but I'm not serving this motherfucker.
This guy Sayek is a nutcase, and you can't put any logic on what the guy did.
But yes, I can put logic to it, because he heard. Wait a minute, he heard Donald Trump in his mind tell him to go out and beat people up.
And so did the guy that shot John Lennon.
No. I'm sorry, Phil. That was a different story altogether. He wasn't out because he heard voices say, go get John Lennon. He was out because of Jodie Foster.
And he heard her voices.
Plus,
what about the one that shot Reagan?
Here we go with whataboutism again.
Take your whataboutism and shove it. You're going to get whataboutism.
You stop doing the whataboutism and deal with the situations, and I'll be happy to.
Is another form of deflection, so you're just deflecting.
It's not a deflection.
Fuck you.
Hey, you gotta make a mime out of that.
Don't have to. Not with sound enabled. I was making that noise because that's exactly what I hear when I hear people like you talk to me. South Park. If any of you have ever seen that episode where Stan gets too cynical and old for his own good at 10 years of age, and everybody looks like an anthropomorphic pile of shit, talking shit and spewing shit. And as far as foods and whatnot are concerned, everything starts tasting like shit and smelling like shit and sounding like shit. Yeah, that's exactly kind of where I'm at right now.
That sounds very shitty.
Yeah. But anyway, by the way, is anybody else going to call tonight? Where's Ray this week? We haven't heard from Ray.
He's working. He's got a play. Oh. I don't know if you get his feed on Facebook, but it's I forgot what the name of the play is, but I don't know, and I don't know how long it's running.
For what it's worth, Phil, I hear the same thing. I hear the same drivel and garbage from people who shill for Hillary. So I've been hearing the same shit.
All
from
I'm
people
saying, Phil,
too,
listen to me. All I'm saying is that of all the people in America who should be responsible and care about the American public's safety, it should be Donald Trump. And he should not be lionizing people who body slam somebody else you know, give somebody a bad time because you know, say lock her up, and a lot of violent rhetoric. He needs to be the guy who brings us all together. I mean, why didn't he call Obama? Why didn't he call Clinton's and say, "Are you okay? Want to let you know we're thinking of you"?
They blocked his number.
No, they didn't. No,
they blocked the White House number.
No, they didn't. No, and he could have called.
He
could have called CNN and said, despite all our differences, I just want to make sure your people are safe and hope that you're handling this fine.
Bill, I'll bet you my existing testicles that he blocked their number instead of the other way around.
Well, no, he was asked today. He was asked today if he was going to call Clinton's or the Obamas.
I heard about that.
And he said, well, there are no plans to, and I'll get back to you on that. You know. Hello, Rob.
Hello.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. Don't you want to? Why don't we all buy a white van and put stickers on it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I love all the right wingers who are coming out saying that it's a hoax, a Democratic hoax.
The only thing that was missing, on that van was a big sign on the back that said "Bust me." You know.
I know, right?
And this is his second van that's been done up like this. The first one was all Native American stuff. And did you hear the interview with the woman from the pizzeria that he worked with?
No.
She's a lesbian.
Yeah.
And she is a minority. And she said he would only, because he used to deliver pizza at people's houses with that van. And he only did it at night. They wouldn't let him go during the day and deliver pizza in that van during the day. She said he had the greatest work ethic. He was one of the best workers, but he basically told her he thought she should be dead because she's a lesbian and all that. He was very respectful, but he told her that he wanted her dead.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's interesting, and this goes against what you said last night, Phil, that the FBI did say today that all these bombs were capable of exploding. These were not mock-ups.
At least
I didn't say they were mock-ups.
No, you said that they weren't meant to work. At one point, you did say that, Phil.
No, I said that they didn't blow up. They had explosive in them, but they weren't rigged in such a way that they'd actually blow up unless there was a battery, there was a clock, and there was wires. But
so that's okay then.
Yeah, but it didn't have a switch. There was no way to activate it. You know, you would have had to receive the bomb, put it all together, and then it would blow up.
No, he didn't get that.
Does that make it okay?
Well, if you're going to get a bomb and then put it together to see if it blows up, I think you should be subject to the explosion.
Yeah, but I think he was hoping that people would play around with it or something, and then it would go off.
Come on,
you know.
If you got a bomb in the mail, would you play around with it?
Look, this guy wasn't playing.
10 years old.
This guy wasn't playing with a full deck. You expect him to make a perfect bomb? Come on.
Yeah, shit. I was just gonna say, Alex. At least, you know, I can respect somebody and detest them otherwise in every other sense of the word. Case in point, at least people like Timothy McVeigh were skilled in what he did.
He was good at it.
Put a target on their back when they parked that pickup truck under that federal building. It wasn't adorned with like Nixon stickers or shit like that. Yeah, people like him, I find, and Ted Kaczynski on the left, kook wing. I may find them detestable, but I at least respect them.
See, if I were going to do what this guy did, okay, I would do it, and then after I mailed the stuff, I get on the first plane for Europe and get the hell out of Dodge.
He was living in his van. His parents threw him out of the house.
Yeah.
56 years old. He's living at home?
No, he's living in a van.
No, he's been out for about 10 years, I heard.
No. They said that he just got thrown out of his house and he was living in the van. He also claimed that he was an American Indian. I don't remember what tribe.
Seminole.
Seminole. So
Elizabeth Warren can have that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. You know, Elizabeth Warren may want to
talk about respect or lack there. She lost my respect when she did that, but that's a side note.
Yeah,
and you know that's one common element they can both.
Well, I've never been crazy about Elizabeth Warren anyway. So yeah.
What is it called when you say that you were in the military and you weren't? Stolen valor. Yeah, you know, I think what Elizabeth Warren did is basically stolen valor on, you know, to do with the Indian tribes.
I'm sure she
And
probably
the Cherokee Nation would agree with that.
Well, I'm sure she had some Indian blood in her, but it wasn't
Like
enough
5%.
to. It wasn't.
Yeah, she probably screwed a guy that was Indian when she was in college.
Is that supposed to be funny?
No, yeah, it's about as close as she's going to get to Indian blood. She's European.
She might have had. Yeah, look, she may have somewhere felt that she had Indian blood. She probably sent away for one of those DNA tests, and they came back and said she was 1%.
The amount of Indian blood, the amount of Indian blood she had in her.
Also, it's not Indian; it's Native American. Phil.
Okay, if Hitler was looking for Indians, the amount of Indian blood she had in her, Hitler would have passed and said, "You're European."
Well, look. My feeling is, if Hitler was out after the Jews and he had killed you, he'd been satisfied just having done you.
Well, look,
and not killed any more Jews.
I consider it casino Indian and not dot Indian, only because Indian, regardless, neither are native, and the only reason why we call them Native Americans is that they were here before us after having crossed Beringia.
Albert used to use the comparison of woohoo versus dothead.
They're not Native American any more than I am by that logic.
What? Who?
And I was, and
who's not?
Everyone on this panel were born in the continental United States. So by definition, we're all Native American.
When the white man came here, these people were already here, so they were Native Americans.
But they came from Asia over.
Well, if you want to go all the way back, but we're not splitting hairs here. We're saying
but we are splitting hairs when other arguments are.
What else would you call
1024th? Hitler, like I said, when Hitler was looking for Jews, if we were 132nd Jew, they'd take us off to the camp. But 1024th.
It's believed that Eva Braun was part Jewish.
I think Hitler was part Jewish, wasn't he?
He may well have been, yes. May well have been.
Yeah. Everybody's part Jewish.
You know, those kind of crusades, including those crusades, they're going after the wrong people.
Including those Asians who came across the Bering Straits, right, Phil?
Exactly.
Yeah. They're Jewish, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah, they're going after the wrong people.
Lost tribe.
Yeah. Anyway,
commit genocide on people with apparent ideologies, like Trump's, for example.
Yeah.
Well, Trump.
Throw their ass in a concentration camp, and you got like everybody cheering and saying, "Yeah, gas that motherfucker."
Trump and Elizabeth Warren have the same background. You know, it's just that she lied about hers.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and Trump doesn't lie.
Never.
Yeah, right.
He's a pinnacle of truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And my asshole shits the tune of the Star Spangled Banner after I ate Mexican fajitas the night before. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You can't call lying when you're a Republican right now. You cannot call out lying on the other side.
Yeah.
Because there is so really.
Yeah. You know, we think that this is correct. What he's doing is fine. You think
it's correct that tonight they were chanting "Lock her up again" at a Trump rally?
It's a rally.
You would think that's correct.
It's a rally.
When you know what it incited in one nut job.
Yeah, but what he's trying to do is incite people to go out and vote.
It's a mob is what it is. All rallies are. That's why I never even liked high school pep rallies, for Christ's sake.
That's what it
is.
He's
the only president who has done this.
My anxiety levels would spike up even then as a teenager.
Yeah.
Well, you know, get used to the fact that he's
a piece of shit.
But he doesn't do things the way other presidents did it.
Yeah,
he's a piece of shit. That's why
he does it wrong. He does it wrong. I love your idea about how he's such a maverick, Phil. He's such a fucking maverick.
Hey, I guess you guys aren't going to vote for him in 2020.
Vote for him.
You know, he's not depending on your vote.
Yeah, he wasn't depending on those 3 million, 4 million other people who didn't vote for him. They just happened to have the misfortune of living in the wrong location.
Yeah, they happened to be gerrymandered out of the election.
Hey, that's the way it goes.
Yeah. By the way, I'm sorry to the audience, but for a while there, my picture was obliterating a bit of of Rob's face because I failed to change the size of my window, and so the corner of my picture was going up his nose. Okay. I showed this earlier. I'll show it again. I think it's worth showing. This is your president, Phil. His tweet today: Republicans are doing so well in early voting and at the polls, and now this bomb stuff happens.
We need to see what happens on November 7th.
That's a new term I think we could use now. Bomb stuff happens.
Yeah, no shit.
Shit happens.
And the momentum greatly shows. News not taking politics, talking politics. Very unfortunate what's going on. Republicans go out and vote. The only thing he could think of in all of this was the bomb stuff was getting him off of page 1.
Right.
That's all he could think about, that prick.
Right. If we had a major terror attack, a foreign terror attack on our soil right now, he would turn it around and make it about himself.
Yeah.
That's true, but we do have a terror attack coming up on our soil. They're about 1,000 miles away right now, but
it's not a terror attack.
You have a horde of people that are trying to break into our borders illegally. Is that
why you think they're going to? You think they're going to storm the border? You think that's what's going to happen?
They did it in Mexico when they.
We're not Mexico. We have laws here.
Well, there's 800.
Contrary to what your president will tell you, we don't have. We're a country of laws.
Well, we have 800 soldiers.
You know what a lot of the Mexicans are doing?
Hiring them.
About it? Yes, Jeff. They're hiring them for jobs.
And you know why? Because of the new NAFTA deal.
Oh, you're admitting it's still NAFTA, and we just changed the name of it.
Yeah. Well, it's basically NAFTA, except it makes the Chinese weaker on this deal because they have to buy.
The Chinese have nothing to do with NAFTA.
They have a lot to do with it because what was happening was that the amount of parts that they were buying from China instead of U.S. parts. So now Mexican manufacturers have to use, I think, is it 75% U.S. parts in the automobiles that they build down there in order to be compliant with the new deal. So it's helping U.S. manufacturers instead of
that's really going to hurt. That's really going to hurt China, isn't it?
It's going to help us.
No, it's not.
Yeah, look at companies like Delco and so they're
you watch.
Dead
shit ain't going to happen. Okay, or as he puts it, bomb stuff isn't going to happen.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. Yes, Brian.
The thing is, you know what? The thing is, it's got me thinking to the point where I don't. Number one, I don't see anybody being a good front runner for the Democratic presidency in 2020, and it's only got me as far as a happy compromise is concerned. If we can get divided government again in 2018 and in 2020, I'll be content.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're going to end up with Bloomberg.
No.
Got two sides rubbing up against each other. If oyster logic applies here, at least we'll get some pearls of legislation rather than a whole bipartisan or unipartisan effort from all three branches be they Republican or Democrat, conspiring to fuck us in the ass. Because that's exactly
I think we'll get nothing done legislatively, but what we will get is checks and balances on the nut in the White House.
I'll take it. I don't give a fuck.
Well, the reason
even
I
if
say
it's
Bloomberg
Pence instead of Trump, but a Democratic Congress. So
right.
what? I don't give five-fingered fucks anymore.
At least the children are not completely in charge.
25 going on 26 or 26 going on 27 versus 36 going on 37. I would have given a shit, but since I'm, staring down at 40 years of age with a thin set of binoculars, I just don't care.
I think Nikki Haley may end up joining either Trump for VP and Pence may retire.
What?
Yeah, I'm thinking
wants to be president.
Pence? No, I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Come on.
I think he's poised to be president.
I don't think he can win.
Why?
I just don't think he has enough appeal. He's too low energy, like
You're seeing him in his radio days.
No.
Yeah, he's a broadcast professional. He knows how to handle an audience.
Seemed pretty energetic in the clips I saw on that John Oliver program.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Oh yeah. You'll see it on go on John Oliver, and he has a program on Mike Pence by itself. It's 20 minutes long.
Something that hit me.
Pence was a radio host.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he has some clips. He shows you some clips of his radio days. Yeah.
Shows Alex. You think he's going to run for president?
Yeah, but Alex isn't the vice president now, is he? Nor is he a Republican now, is he?
No, but he'd be one if he could.
Well, he isn't.
Oh, I would never be one, Phil. I would never be one.
If I ever thought of becoming one, this new Republican Party is certainly not one that I would want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Believe me, if I were.
Bunch of hypocrites.
But I'd shake shit up. Even if somebody had a bullet with my name on it, I'd still shake shit up and not give a fuck.
They all were against Trump. I mean, all of them.
Exactly.
But the only reason they're on the bandwagon right now is he's got support, and amongst the Republican Party, he's got very good approval ratings.
And so they don't give a damn about what they're doing to the country in the interim because they're getting their tax breaks and all that.
Yeah, but you see, they're as bad as they're all terrible.
No question about it.
What we're looking for is the best offices, the best offices in the Congress,
among other things.
Remember the line from what was it, Blazing Saddles, when the mayor Lepedemain, Mel Brooks was work. We got to protect our phony baloney jobs.
Well, yeah,
that's what it is.
Exactly
what
it is.
Plus that
quote I see on Facebook that I guess if it happened, Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain, politicians are like diapers and they both need changed for the same reason.
They stink.
They're full of shit.
That's why we need term limits.
Shit.
Yeah.
The 22nd Amendment, we need a 28th, a 29th, and a 30th Amendment, if you read my Facebook postings.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's, by the way, speaking of Facebook.
Yeah.
I've been looking online on how to temporarily disable my Facebook page.
Why?
Well, because I see you don't do Facebook anymore, Rob. So
no.
Why are you asking why? You should know.
I answer that.
Well, no, I mean because you have like 5,000 followers.
I have a lot of respect for you for that alone.
Yeah, but supposedly if I took it off for a time being and come back on, the 5,000 are still,
but you gotta turn it off and you gotta delete it. You gotta pull the trigger. You gotta delete it.
No, you don't delete it. I deleted it.
Oh
yeah, but you can turn it off.
I did with MySpace.
You go back if you don't delete it. I guarantee it.
You can disable it.
So I
know you can, but you go right ahead in a week and you'll re-enable it if you don't delete it.
I've got to disable the messenger.
Addictive part of your brain, it just reactivates itself.
Once you press that delete button, there's a feeling of like a weight lifted off of you.
But Rob, you ever see, again, hearkening to a South Park episode where Stan tries to do that and he finds out that he's in like this Tron Facebook universe and that the Facebook profile has adopted a life and a conscious and whatever of its own. You ever see that episode?
No.
That's kind of what it's like.
Well, here's the thing. Like today, I put up, I don't know if you heard me read it earlier, this Chuck Bloor vanity card that he ran at the end of his shows this week. And it was very good. It's fun. It was interesting. I thought I'd put it up on my Facebook page. And the kind of trolls that jumped in on it were just, nobody was talking about it. No, they were just either attacking it or they're just going, yay. And I took the whole thing off. I just said, fuck it. I don't need this.
Don't give them anything. I only post some pictures. I don't let anybody post to my Facebook thing because if they do,
But isn't that the whole idea of it, though? So if you're going to cut it down to that and not post anything and not let people post, well, just delete it.
No, I'll just use it. I'll just use it as a PR vehicle. Run my videos of the shows every night there, and that's it. But I'm through making comments because I just don't like the dialogue that comes afterwards. If it was a respectful back and forth, fine. But then all of a sudden, somewhere in the middle, two guys start having a pissing match with each other, and that goes on for about 40 lines.
But
like,
Alex,
they're the only people in the fucking world.
You're a public figure. You're a public figure. You're going to get that if you allow people to post to it. There's a lot of public figures.
Well, then I don't have to.
It's happened to me too when I was on Facebook. You see somebody posted something, and you feel strongly enough that you're going to rebut, and it gets into this whole thing, and it escalates, and I began to just dislike myself for it. So, because I'm really opinionated.
There was this pissing match going back and forth between two guys for about 40 lines in this thread, and I'm going, come on, this is not worth it. It's not worth it to the people who want to read the replies.
Hey, I've had Tony today. I've got about 45, 50 posts before 8 o'clock in the morning, my time. So I told him, I said, too many texts, block is coming. You must stop texting by 10 a.m. your time. He says, okay, don't block. I said, then don't text.
Well, today I unblocked him again, hoping he will be okay. But if he's not, he's blocked. And I'm going to.
He's usually fine for about 3 weeks.
And I'm going to block him from the page too. Not just messaging. Yes, Brian.
Well, I want to ask you for about Tony later, but dovetailing what you said.
Believe me, I can't explain Tony, so don't ask me any questions.
Dovetailing what you were talking about Facebook, what Phil was talking about with why he doesn't allow anybody to comment on his page, and the topic of earlier topic of terrorism, both foreign and domestic. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already, but it wouldn't surprise me if it happened within the next 5 or 10 years. Somebody sends you some kind of virus through social media where it compels you to strike a key, and like 150,000 or 200,000 volts, for example, is shot through your body, and you just drop dead by the keyboard right then and there. I'm surprised that hasn't happened. Something like that hasn't happened. Some brilliant hack.
Fortunately, fortunately
only you come up with this idea.
Fortunately, it's not technically.
I doubt I'm the only one.
Hold on, it's not technically possible, right, Rob?
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's.
The thing with Facebook.
What was that?
What was it?
That was
one of the cats died.
That was my old lady cat just jumped off the couch, and the 2-year-old decided I'm going to jump on her, and so he jumped on her.
Oh, by the way, I got to tell you a great story. Yesterday I went over and I spent the afternoon with my friend Jack Garfine, and he has this cat we love because we babysit the cat. Her name is Berta. So, of course, I come over, and Berta always recognizes me. And, she didn't recognize me completely because I was wearing a new pair of shoes. So she sniffed them. She had to reacclimate herself to who I was. But once she did, she was, wonderful, cute, adorable Berta. Now, she does something. They have a bathroom there, right off the living room, right? And the door's closed, and the next thing I noticed, the door is open. And I said, Jack, where's Berta? Is she in the bathroom? And he says, yeah, she just went into the bathroom. And the next thing I do when I look over, the door is closed. And I hear scratching going on in her cat box. What she did was she opened the door, went in, and then to have some privacy, closed the door behind her. Now tell me that isn't bright.
That kind of behavior, what do they call it when you assign human behavior to animals?
Anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphic. That may be all this is the cat box.
No, I think what it is.
I'll tell you what, my cat, when I sit in my office during the day, and we have this robot vacuum that goes around, and it's noisy, and I'm trying to concentrate, and I close the doors. I have French doors leading to my office, and if my young cat Jack is in there with me and he wants to get out, he looks up and starts to try to grab for the handle. I'm telling you, they know.
Yeah, they know. I mean, I had one cat years ago that was my girlfriend's cat, and I used to go over and babysit it while she was in Greece, and I would try to go to sleep, and the cat would. I'd close the door so the cat couldn't come in. The cat knew how to turn the knob and come in.
They
How do you get up there?
And then, okay, so then I go, okay, if you want to come in, come in. You can come sleep on the bed, whatever you're going to do. And I'm trying to go to sleep. And all of a sudden, out of a clear blue sky, her clock radio goes off. And I go, how did that happen? So I turn off the clock radio, and I start going back to sleep, and the clock radio goes back on. And I look over, and the cat is sitting on the clock radio. So I turn the clock radio off, and then I start watching the cat, and the cat's moving its foot around until it finds the button and hits the button to wake me up again. Now, tell me that's anthropomorphic. That is just a smart fucking cat.
Well, you know, dogs, for instance, I used to babysit my very good friend's dog, who was a service dog. And we would tie a piece of cloth to the doorknob, which was like a handle that you could pull. It wasn't a circular thing. And the dog would take the piece of material in his mouth and pull on it and open the door. You know, it was amazing, you know, what you can teach a dog, but I didn't think you could teach a cat.
My ex-girlfriend.
You can't teach a cat to do that on command.
Well,
cats are smarter than dogs. They'll learn to do that stuff on their own. Where with dog, you say, do this, they do it.
I'll tell you that my ex-girlfriend on her Facebook page has a video she took, and I think she should probably post the thing all over the internet because it's hilarious. She has trained, one dog likes to hold the leash. So she puts the leash in her mouth and walks the other dog.
That's pretty cool.
Now that's pretty cool.
I'm trying to get my dog just to grab the leash and bring it to me. So far, I haven't been successful.
No. But anyway, so, you know, I don't know. Hey, we don't hear about Barron Trump very often, do we?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
He's this 11, 12-year-old kid. Leave him alone.
I think he's a retard.
He thinks the same thing about you.
I think he's off limits until he's 18.
He's off limits till he's 18? Okay. Yeah. All right.
So you're making a serious statement that you think there's something wrong with him mentally.
I think so, yeah.
There has been speculation,
yeah.
The kid stands there. He doesn't make any noises. He makes less faces than Brian.
Let me bring up something, because you're right. We shouldn't pick on the kid, but you know, where is he, and what is there a problem there? Because
once he turns 18 and makes statements as ignorant as his older siblings or half siblings, then he's fair game, and the gloves can come off. But until then, no.
Look at his mother. His mother doesn't say much, you know, and I got a feeling that he takes after the mother when it comes to personality-wise. She's very, you know. I think there's a lot of similarity, and she's a person of very.
He looks a lot like his dad, but he probably behaves a lot like his mother.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he
spends a lot of time with.
And I gotta say, you know, 70s and early 80s Trump, I don't think he was that bad looking.
No, not at all.
He just didn't take care of himself, and now we see the bloated, pimple, pustule Cheeto that he is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's banging Playboy bunnies, and we're not.
That's because he's
not banging them anymore. That was a long time ago, Phil. He's not banging them anymore.
Hey, neither am I.
Well, 12 years ago, he was paying what's her fucking face, Stormy Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who would want to sleep with him now, except the guy who owns a white van down in Florida.
Oh, I'm sure he'd love to. He'd be a bottom too. I bet he's a glorified bottom.
Yeah.
Gym bunny bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I just saw pictures of him on Facebook before I called him to this program, where he was like a member of the gym membership or whatever, and he was.
Oh, he's a big bodybuilder guy. He's huge.
He's probably one of like I'm saying, he's probably one of those glorified bottom gym bunny bitch boys.
Well,
he's part Filipino.
Yes, he's half Filipino, half
He's gay
Italian.
for Trump though, bro.
Well, he may be, but one of his big problems in life is that he is lonely and women are not attracted.
Oh, he's an incel then. He's one of those incels. Not a very smart incel, at least some of the other incels that we've heard from, they've actually gone through and committed quite a great deal of murders, like that kid, like 10 years younger than myself, who did back in 2014. Again, detestable urchin of a human being, but he's got my respect because he's smarter than that cocksucker.
Let's be honest about this. Had this guy gotten laid, he'd be sending bombs to Scott Baio. So, you know.
You know, he couldn't even get the lesbian to get in his van, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, all I'm saying is, if
it was down by the river,
I think we have to take our hats off to the FBI because they figured this one out pretty damn fast.
The damn deep state.
Hey, Pence and Trump said they were going to put everything into it that they could to get this guy, and
it's Pence and Trump who did it.
Yeah, Pence and Trump did it. They put the fire under the FBI.
Hey, this guy Seo is thanking Pence and Trump for catching him so quickly.
When Sessions announced that he could be facing 58 years in prison, I wonder if he said that with a winced, grimaced expression on his face.
Yeah. Well, I think. You know, this was...
Don't worry, you're white. We'll find ways to get you out.
You don't think that this guy will go to prison for life? Why 58 years?
That's what they say, 58 years.
Yeah, he didn't kill anybody.
He's 52 now, so...
Terrorist threats against the president?
There wasn't a terrorist threat against the president.
Yeah.
No.
Two former presidents.
Two former presidents, not the president, not Trump.
Well, you know, Obama was not my president.
We don't have a.
It was terrorist threats for the president.
We don't have we don't have a domestic terrorism law like we do for
9/11
foreign terrorism. We don't have necessarily a law for that says it's life in prison or whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
we don't know how to deal with it.
When they tried to assassinate Reagan. What did that guy get?
Well, he actually shot the president.
Yeah, but
wait a minute. He was the one that was doing it for Jodie Foster. Excuse me. That was the guy that was doing it for Jodie Foster, not the one who killed Lennon. The guy who
killed Lennon was inspired by Catcher in the Rye, but he was also a kooky, funny fucking Christian.
Yeah, well, these guys are crazy. You know, they're nuts. But what you do is you don't do anything that's going to give them a sense of permission to play out their insanity.
That's right.
And Trump gives a sense of permission. There's no question about it. You can't deny it, Phil.
He's his own words.
You get a white van. You get a white van. You get a white van.
I could use a white van for cargo deliveries and shit, so you wouldn't be punishing me, pal.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you just don't give a sense of permission. You have to. That's how your job, your number one job as president of the United States is to protect the American public.
Which he says, and then he talked really.
Yeah. You know, if you can't tell the difference between reality and showmanship, geez, that's too bad.
Phil, I happen much more than you to be in show business. Okay, I think we both agree on that. All right.
Yeah.
And I think I know I think I know what showmanship is, and he doesn't have an ounce of it.
And where's your star on the Walk of Fame?
I wasn't a movie actor or a television star.
All right. Well, he is, and that's what he does.
Yes, and he gets pissed on every week.
Yeah, somebody keeps knocking it, taking it up, but that's true.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's what he does. He's a promotions guy. He's out there and he's trying to promote.
But that's con man.
Yeah, but that's not what we want as a president. We want somebody.
It's what you got.
It's true.
I got to tell you, stock market, by the way, took another hit again today.
Yesterday, I thought it went up 400.
You don't want to hear that, Alex.
No, it went up 400 yesterday, went down the same today.
Well, somebody made money. Somebody made money.
Burn it to the ground.
I just made $819 because once a year, Prudential has to sell off part of my 401k because it's like a couple of percentages because I'm over 70. I'm over 75. But I'm glad they did do it because that stock keeps going down. Like Sirius is starting to tank like the Titanic.
Well, maybe it's time to move it into something a little more secure.
Well, no, because I can move stuff out of my Vanguard without paying any taxes on it, but I have to pay taxes on everything that comes out of the Prudential. Which, by the way, they took taxes out of the check. It was for like $1,000.
Yeah, there's some guy with a podcast that hawks. He's a right-wing guy, and he hawks gold. He was a
Tom Hartman.
No. This guy was a Clinton advisor, and then he went to the right. I think he was the guy that
Dick Morris.
Yeah, that's it.
It's Bob in the Dark.
Yeah. So he's hawking gold.
Or as Fred Savage of all people used to call him back when I used to be a Republican, or at least be more sympathetic to it. He used to call him Tricky Dick Morris. Yeah. Just like he used to call Bill O'Reilly the leprechaun.
Oh, yeah, Dick Morris is an asshole.
Oh, yeah. He even sounds like one. He looks like a dick. He sounds like an asshole.
Yeah, well, he's hawking gold right now. You know, maybe that's not such a bad thing.
Let me ask because Kevin's been rather quiet. Kevin, what do you think about the guy in the white van?
The fucking whack job.
Yeah.
I saw him when they picked up the van and all that stuff today. It really didn't surprise me.
How much coverage did you guys watch of this?
It was on all day.
Yeah,
I watched a lot of it. I wanted to see how they were going to, the same thing. I flipped between channels. I watched CNN first, and then I said, it was kind of boring, and then I went to Fox, and
can I tell you
they were just amazing.
The only really exciting thing about it all, did any of you see they took a shot of, I don't know, it was like a room where they were working on the case, and they were working on pieces of paper and things like that and so on, and there was this blonde FBI agent who was working.
Yeah, at the AutoZone store, yeah.
Was it the AutoZone store? Yes, that's where it was.
Yeah.
Did you see her?
Yeah.
Didn't she look like somebody you would cast as an female FBI agent for a TV series?
Kind of looked like a CSI episode or something.
Yeah, but an actress that you would hire to play a sexy CSI agent.
Right.
I was saying the same thing.
Yeah, I was sitting there.
Then they would cut to Hildebrand and go, "Oh, there's another one."
Oh, really? All I know is I saw her there, and I said to girlfriend, I said, "She's hot." I said, she looks like she was cast for the part,
Going, investigate me.
Exactly. And then she turned around and looked towards the camera because I figured, she got nice blonde hair, but she probably has a horse like a mule. And no, she was really good looking. So then, of course, the other male part of me comes into play, because I can't have her, okay? And that was, she's probably a lesbian.
So I went shooting this morning. I had to qualify for my concealed weapons permit.
You see, because you take photographs, and when you said shooting, I figure you went out with your camera. There was some ducks or something on a pond.
I got certified. Now I got to take these in and get my new ID. But so I was with a bunch of retired cops this morning. It was actually fun.
What do they certify you with? That you can hit a target or something, or what?
Yeah, I have to shoot a course of fire that they designate, and if I'm accurate enough, then you pass, and they sign your thing off. They also inspect your gun and make sure that you haven't altered the safeties and things like that, and that it functions properly.
Yeah. Boy, that's exciting.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sorry I wasn't out there to go with you. That would have been an exciting morning for me.
Yeah, well, I was with people I haven't seen in 15 years. It was actually fun.
Yeah. Okay. Big yawn. Anyway.
Should have asked us to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
well, you want to go shooting? Come on out.
So we've been spared all the. They have this guy over at MSNBC. His name is Steve Kornacki, and he's got a big whiteboard, and he sits there telling you he's a statistician, or he pretends like he is. He has his sleeves rolled up and doesn't wear a jacket. Okay, that means he's got to be a good statistician, right?
Kind of like Ben Beck used to do, huh?
And he sits there and he tells you, well, here in this state, and this is a problem, and here we could go with this. I haven't seen him in the last week since this thing began, because they really aren't covering the midterms, which thank God they aren't, because quite frankly, I was getting a little bored with the whole thing, because it was the same thing every day. One day they'd say, oh, the Democrats are in bad shape, and the next day they'd say, oh, the Democrats are in good shape. That was
I don't think they know. You know,
nobody knows.
I think the only thing they know is that the guy who made the bombs has a white van. Other than that, they have no idea who's going to win. Now they're talking about New Jersey being up for grabs. They're talking about West Virginia being up for grabs.
Well, New Jersey should be up for grabs, because that guy in New Jersey...
Nobody wants West Virginia.
You know what Joe Manchin does? He wants it badly enough to fuck the Democrats in the ass to turn turncoat and vote for a rapist.
Yeah.
For Supreme Court Justice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
He's my nomination for Fuckface of the Year Award 2018. If you don't believe me, I even made a meme of his face.
Well, Joe Manchin, he was a screaming coward, is what he was. You know, he thought about his own position more importantly than his own morality.
How about the people that he represents wanted this, and he voted the way his electorate.
They don't know what
wants
his people.
to.
They don't know what his people wanted. You're in that state, right, Rob?
No, different
West
state.
Virginia?
Huh?
West Virginia?
No, Rob has teeth.
I got my teeth all in there.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
You mean you're not burning coal in your fireplace there?
Hell no.
Yep. Okay.
Or meth.
You're not playing over that too, or playing a banjo in your backyard.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Even
my
though
wife is not my sister.
Even though it was West Virginia that rebelled from Virginia and sided with the Union, it now resembles something like Mississippi more than Virginia does, which seems to be more cosmopolitan.
Yeah. But anyway,
that's ironic.
The point is that we haven't heard that much about it lately, and we're about a week away now from the midterms.
What's funny is, I don't mean to interrupt, but what's funny about it, West Virginia, I know people who live there. I know family members who live there, because we border them. Pennsylvania borders West Virginia. But nevertheless, I told the guy who was bitching about Joe Manchin, who voted for him reluctantly, said, I'll hold my nose and vote for him again in the general election, but I don't like what he did as far as Kavanaugh is concerned. I said, well, sir, did you vote for Paula Jean Swearingen when she ran against Joe Manchin? Of course, he wouldn't say anything. But cocksuckers usually don't. They don't even admit that they made a mistake. I'll admit when I made a mistake, but he didn't even say that. And so I said, yeah, that's what I thought. You had your shot and you fucking blew it, much like the rest of the state.
Yeah. But what's going on in New Jersey is you've got, what's his name? Who's the guy?
The Mexican name.
No, he's a Jew.
Yeah, but it sounds Mexican. Menendez.
Menendez.
I mean, he's Jewish.
Yeah, I think so.
Menendez?
I think so. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. Okay, we got enough problems. He isn't a Jew. Okay.
Right.
Anyway.
I guess at the very worst, he's a kike spick.
But anyway, I mean, the Republican's a piece of shit too.
No,
but the fact is that this guy is a sleazeball of all sleazeballs. You know? So I think his seat is kind of up for grabs, because you should see the advertising.
He was censured.
Yeah,
he was censured, but he wasn't convicted of anything.
No, he was put on trial though.
Yeah, and it was a mistrial or they decided not to go after him again.
Right.
So basically.
So basically, he snuck out of that. But the fact is, the guy is a sleazeball. And so, I mean, if he loses that state, he deserves to, because he's a prick, But I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in the Senate. Hopefully, the Congress will flop over. Okay.
I don't think it's going to.
You don't.
I know.
You don't.
No, I think that the Republicans are probably going to hold on to it by maybe 2 seats.
God help this country if that happens. God help this country.
Well, a lot more will get done.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
so, a lot will get done. I agree with you.
But it'd be all the wrong stuff getting done.
A lot of it will get
done.
done.
Don't you
in this
believe
country
that the wonderful,
be ripped apart for another 4 years?
Wonderful thing is that democracy.
6-inch dildo being used to fuck us in the ass.
Don't you think the best democracy is one in which there is difference of opinion and where there's checks and balances, Phil, rather than everybody agreeing on one track?
Hey, I believe you take a check. You know,
what the fuck are you saying?
Yeah, there should be checks and balances, and that's why you have a Congress, and that's why you have a Senate, and that's why you have a Supreme Court. Those are the checks and balances.
And the reason
they're not checking and balancing this guy.
No, they're checking and balancing with the majority of people that voted. And you know, these areas, they voted for more Republicans than Democrats. So therefore,
they got gerrymandered.
In the majority.
They got gerrymandered, Phil.
Well, it's been gerrymandered for a long time, and there's been
this new gerrymander.
What about? I'll give you a what about.
Have you ever seen gerrymandered? Have you ever seen maps of gerrymandered districts?
Oh God!
It's like they go around a corner and then they make a sharp right, and then it's the most amazing thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, well, you know, how could the House have been Democratic for over 50 years from the time that FDR was president?
Because people were smarter.
Well, I don't think so.
I think so.
Well, it kind of
less selfish. We were more about America, about the greater good of America, and not about your own pocket.
Also, let me say this. Shut up a second, Phil. At that time there was a larger working class.
Yeah.
Okay, or people who considered themselves the working class. And that working class were always very democratic. But now today, it's kind of
unions for good, honest day's pay.
Yeah.
You made a decent living.
Yeah. So I mean,
it wasn't the sexiest work, but at least it was work that put food on the table and put a roof over their heads.
But now we don't exactly have a working class anymore, or people who want to admit they're part of the working class. And so therefore, some people will vote Republican just to think they're part of the club. Although they're not part of the club, they're just a bunch of schlubs like they always were.
They're like the dogs at the dinner table jumping up and down hoping that the scraps will fall in their direction.
Exactly.
Well, maybe it's the people that
by the way,
the Democrats buying votes.
By the way, Phil, you're one of those people.
Yeah. And proud to be one.
But you said about gerrymandering, it lends credence to what I say. I don't trust direct democracy any more than I trust the gerrymandered electoral college system that we have. I'm actually in favor of a compromise. I say let the counties be counted. Instead of it being 270 votes needed to secure a presidency, make it be half or whatever it would be equivalent wise, mathematically speaking, of the 1,100 and some counties that exist in the country.
I say you take a vote, and the person who gets the most votes wins.
But I
say move to Sweden.
The popular vote is just not. I don't see it being secure.
Because I don't feel. I mean, and Phil, Rob, you probably agree with me on this. Do you feel your vote counts?
Well, I guess I do in a way, except for the president.
Yeah.
But like, my state voted my way.
Well, the more local. More local you get in your elections, like congressmen and mayors and things like that, governors. Yes, your vote does count. When it comes to the presidential race, your vote doesn't count. It's like all watered down into a handful of votes.
Your vote and my vote don't count, but there's several others that do.
Like what?
Tyrants have been elected by popular vote before. And additionally, when you have, and the right is right about this. People like Phil are right about this, and Patrick. You'd have New York, Dallas, Chicago, and Los Angeles deciding who our president would be, rather than
You mean people with an education, maybe?
Just remember.
Well, there are people.
That's bigoted.
Hitler. That's not bigoted. That's not bigoted, because if you have an education, you don't live in West Virginia. You can't get a job in West Virginia. That's not bigoted. That's a
we
fact.
need West Virginia as much as we need West Virginia to be as productive as we need. That's
a separate point. I'm talking about when you're living on a farm surrounded by 2,000 people in a wide area of space, and you don't have any kind of real education, as opposed to people who live in metropolitan areas who are well educated.
Then I suppose it's the responsibility of people who are educated and live in those metropolitan areas to educate those people who live in those West Virginia farmlands.
Would be nice, but nobody wants to pay for it, right? The Democrats would pay for it. The Democrats would pay for it. The Republicans don't want to pay for it.
You know how they get educated? Let them grow pot.
You know what? I'll take aside. I think you're onto something there.
Yeah.
Legalize weed nationwide.
Never going
to tax it.
We're too uptight of a nation for that.
Yeah.
Too uptight.
Well, they're having a good time up in Canada, so.
We're way too uptight for that.
Yeah. Well, I just think that
let the stock market crash and burn first, and let the fucking anarchists grow in number, myself among them. I'm just a trigger man. And let somebody tell me. Okay, pull the trigger.
Oh, somebody just wrote here somebody wrote here on the chat room that Menendez is Cuban.
Okay, but he's not. Is he Jewish?
I guess not. But you can be Cuban and Jewish.
Yeah, absolutely.
More than likely, he's probably Catholic and Cuban.
Yeah.
But you could be. I think there were a lot. Well, anyway, it's interesting that you were talking about people voting and winning and so on. I mean, Hitler won an election
by the popular vote.
By the popular vote.
How did that work for your popular vote?
Well,
I know, right? You're right, Phil. How did that work?
And I talked to my friend Jack Garfine, who's a Holocaust survivor. And he says what's so scary to me is I've seen this all before. And he finds it very reminiscent of what went on in Germany, what's going on in this country right now.
You talk about controversy, election controversy. From what I understand, JFK only won the popular vote over Nixon and secured the presidency by like 200, less than 300 people, less than 300 votes.
And those were dead people in Chicago.
No, hold on a second. It was 200 people in Chicago.
Yeah. It
wasn't by 200 people because he won by much more nationally, but it was in Chicago where it was in contention.
But I saw in the Atlas, the U.S. Atlas and World Report, one of those publications, the tally of the popular vote nationwide. It was by less than 300 people.
Is there any truth to the fact that those people in Chicago were dead?
Now, I'm not going to. Somebody can fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure of what I saw. He only won the popular vote by less than 300 people nationwide.
We've just been joined by Tony, by the way. Why is it last night we had a royal flush, and tonight, you think Friday night we get the most people, but who knows? Who cares?
Well, now they'll come on because Tony's here.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I just, it's scary. It's all very scary, and I think this country is very capable of voting for a Hitler. Okay, I don't think that's.
Once you get into a mob mentality, and that's what Trump is creating with these damn rallies, is a mob mentality.
He's taking it from the playbook, from the Adolf Hitler playbook with those rallies.
I cannot believe that people do not see attacking the press as detrimental to this country. I do not understand it.
Yeah.
He's being attacked by the press as well.
Because he attacks the press.
In his paranoid reverie, Phil. Well, hold on, Phil. The whole show isn't about you, okay? There are other people here. So, just hold it down a little bit. You don't have to answer to every question that comes up.
Okay.
The point is, the point that I'm trying to make is that this country is, to me, very capable of voting for a Hitler if Hitler came along. I have no doubt about it. It's because, and this idea that you have, Phil, now you can join me because I mentioned your name. Oh God, it's like Beetlejuice. The fact that you talk about well, they attack him. No, they didn't attack him. They just reported him, and in his paranoid reverie, he thinks he's being attacked because he's so egotistical that if anybody doesn't agree with him 100% or doesn't report him as he sees himself to be, he feels he's being attacked.
You want my answer? The press are a bunch of whores. They got him elected, and now they're pissed that they got used by him, and now they're attacking him. Yeah. And they're trying.
You don't think he opens his mouth enough? I mean, you could really go back if you had a couple of years worth of tape, audio or videotape. You can edit so many video without doing anything untoward to edit it. He says the wackiest shit.
Hey,
he gets away with the craziest stuff. That he is the fucking president of the United States. They're going to report this stuff.
I mean, how are you going to not report him
they're not
saying,
making shit up. He's saying
and
this
now
stuff.
This bomb stuff happens. Come on. Everybody's going to make a joke about that.
He said it before that shit. They caught the guy, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to reunite everybody." And then 15 minutes later, he was at a rally talking shit again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. He does it every fucking time.
Come on, the guy he's unhinged.
You know, he had one chance this time.
Well, now Phil's walking away.
Well, he's had a few chances.
Some batteries.
He had one chance. He had one
farted. He's got to light a match.
Batteries.
He had one chance this time to be presidential, in a time of crisis in this country, to bring the country together.
He's had a chance before when that lady was killed by those
even George Bush went and got on the pile and gave a speech, you know, and he was not my favorite president, okay, but still he did something. Right. This president has done nothing.
I kept waiting for that to happen today, and he never ever did it. He
doesn't have the capability.
He stood in front of those the black guys, the group of black kids, the leaders of the black or whatever, in the East Room, and he started to say something. I'm going, okay, maybe he's going to do it this time. And he did it for about 10 seconds, and then they all started the rally.
And the only time he does it,
I looked at his face and I went, that's freaking Hitler standing there, and he's got that smile on his face, and I know he's looking at him going, look at you, you're all just cheering for me. Look at that. I got you all wrapped around my finger, and then they cut away.
Yeah.
And then later on, he's at another rally, and he's going, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it for you guys in the back, but here we are. I'm not going to say it, but you know, and he's egging them on. What the fuck?
As powerful as he is, and as charismatic as he is, maybe Trump is still following in the footsteps of like the demagogues.
You know what I think happens?
See Rush Limbaugh and Ann Coulter.
Don't you think that there is somebody in his cadre who keeps saying to him, "Now's the time for you to be presidential"? And he says, okay,
they put it on the teleprompter.
He says, okay, write it. They put it on a teleprompter. And then when he reads it, he doesn't read it like he means it. He reads it like he resents having to read it. He's like a kid who's asked to recite in class who really doesn't want to recite in class. That's how
exactly what happened today. And you could tell he was reading it, and then he walked away, and he didn't have to read something after that, and he just he ran his mouth.
Yep. As soon as he gets on.
What happened during? I didn't see it. I know that he was having a meeting with some black Republicans, young black Republicans. What happened during that meeting?
That was what's-his name's group.
Kanye?
No.
Black leadership.
But what's his name? His black cabinet member.
The guy who used to be like
the doctor.
Yeah.
Ben Carson.
Ben Carson.
The guy he ripped apart in the.
Ben Carson.
In the debates.
This was like Ben Carson's group. It was a black initiative or something.
The whole thing looked so token. It was ridiculous.
Oh, like everybody there was a token black.
It was ridiculous, and he stood up there and he listened to them, and they're all USA, USA, and he's just standing there with a smile on his face, like you fuckers, you're listening to me, aren't you, you little fuckers? And I could say some more words, but I won't.
Yeah.
But what did they actually say? You know, I mean, you know, you've got a lot of opinions.
They chanted, "You lock her up."
Yeah.
They did. Other than the chants, was there anything substantive?
Not particularly. Not particularly.
It never is.
No, it was a mini rally.
It was for show. Look how many Negroes we can get standing there with Donald Trump.
Exactly.
I don't know, but it's kind of
and just to make things even more horrible for these black people, we're going to make them wear these little red hats that say, you know.
Yeah, and I'll sign them after the show.
MAGA, you know.
Yeah. I wonder what his signature's worth, Trump.
Huh?
You think Trump's signature's worth a lot of money? I wonder. I should put see on eBay if they have his signature.
Well, it depends.
I had a dream that I was in the White House, and he walked. I was on a tour, and he walked by me, and everybody went crazy. Ooh, the president! And I just looked at him and turned around and walked away. Wouldn't shake his hand.
Ah. Was that really a dream you had?
That was a dream I had the other night.
I'd like to meet him, actually.
I have no interest.
I had the same dream, but it was a nightmare. Go figure.
Can you imagine if we met him and he's a decent guy?
He wouldn't be a decent guy. No, there's nobody that's ever reported him being a decent guy.
Everybody likes him.
No, they don't.
Know, when you meet him.
No, they don't.
Kim Jong-un.
No, they don't, Phil.
Stop shooting.
They act like they like him because if you act like you like him, you get shit from him.
Yeah. That's how he will be anybody's friend who acts nice to him.
Right.
Yep.
You know, he'd be Hitler's best friend if Hitler were nice to him.
Yeah, he'd find a reason.
Yeah.
Rob's planted the idea in my head. I'll probably have a nightmare very similar to his. Only mine will be okay. My palms are sweating, and I've got this in my hand. What can I do with this? What should I do?
Oh boy! Well, we're gonna have the Secret Service now knocking on my door.
Where his blood is war paint. Come on, you motherfuckers! Come at me.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I don't have a violent streak in me, so I just walk away
That's
from.
That's where we part ways, Rob. Unfortunately,
yeah.
I would spit on him.
I wouldn't. I'm just not. That's not my thing. I totally in my dream. He came around and everybody was clamoring for him, and I just walked away. I was like, I don't want to even look at him. I'm not even going to give him. I'm not even going to look at him to like go, wow, he's the president. I just,
yeah,
not even look at him.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, so
if I had and then pull it back and then wipe it with a wet wipe.
Even if I had a chance to meet Obama, I would have given him, the respect that he deserves as the president.
Because Obama was I would have done that with George Bush. I would have done that with George Bush Sr. and Jr. I would have done that with any president. I would have been thrilled to see any president. This guy, it's different.
Well, because
I like this guy.
There's a question. You're really, Phil. Come on.
I like this guy.
I have to say, I've known you a long time, and I never thought you were a moron, but I'm beginning to think so.
That's the problem with America.
When I became a full-fledged lefty, I didn't have this animus towards George W. So on that, we can agree, Rob. But...
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan, but I respected him. He was the president.
Wait, Jeff said something. Hold on a second. Jeff, hold on. Everybody be quiet. Jeff said something. Go ahead, Jeff.
Phil, I think they have psychologists in California that maybe you would have stuck up
We're all a bunch of
one of them.
We're all a bunch of liberals. They're deranged.
I think
they got Trump derangement syndrome.
It's nothing to do with liberal.
Specialists here in Pittsburgh.
It's character, none, no character, no empathy, no anything. He's almost not human.
He's just got to do the job. That's
no. He is the commander-in-chief, and he needs to be able to bring the country together and settle it down. It's volatile right now. We need a strong man who can calm people down. Tell him, look, do your fighting in the ballot box. Go to the polls and vote.
Let me ask all of you something. If he were to apologize today, change his outlook, and say, we need unification in the country. I'm never going to say anything negative about the press again. And he did that for, let's say, 1 month without flopping back. Would that change any of your minds?
If he meant it,
No,
Yeah,
if he did it,
he meant.
I've heard of that.
But I wouldn't. I don't think. He, I don't think. I don't think he would do that. I don't think he would do that for a month, because that would be like, I would then have to believe Hogwarts exists.
Well, this,
I'd like to see it come out as HR puppet.
But no, but the least he could have done it. At least
if he started to act presidential, I wouldn't. I don't agree with his politics. I didn't agree with George Bush's politics, but I still respected him as the president of the United States.
Well, you know why? Because he respected the office he held.
Yes, he respected the office.
And he would have to do it. That's the thing. He could say it, but he would have to do it.
Donald Trump doesn't.
For a length of time.
Donald Trump doesn't respect the presidency.
Is between Trump and Bush.
Big
Bush. No, I'll tell you. Bush was in politics for many, many, many years before he got to, and many elections that he won and lost before he got to the president's office. Trump is like a lottery winner, where he's there and he didn't pay any political price to get there. So therefore, does he have respect for the office? About as much respect as a lottery winner has for his winning.
It's almost like he's waving his nose at them. Like, you didn't think I was
so wait a minute.
win.
So wait a minute, Phil. That's a good thing.
Well, it just so happens to be what it is. You know,
I disagree with you, because he was soulless before he was president. He was a con man before he was president.
But how do you get the soul of a president? You get it by earning the position all the way up.
No, by having
that's just who you are.
By having an internal morality, Phil.
Yeah,
there are a lot of lottery winners that didn't fuck up.
You know what it is, I think?
Yeah, well...
And there are a lot of lottery winners that actually made a life out of themselves and did well.
And 2 out of 3, and many of them started foundations, and many of them started good works with the money.
But there are lottery winners that fucked up. There are sports figures that fucked up.
Yes, but Phil, we don't judge the world by the people who fucked up. We judge the world by the people who do right.
Well, he's doing right in many ways. You just don't like his message. If his message, you've all admitted that if his message
what's his
was
message? His message is, pay attention to me because I'm a petulant child. Yes, Jeff wants to say something.
The man lies every day, all the time.
Yeah.
This is not the character of a good person.
Grab them by the pussy.
What you call
I can do whatever I want to do.
I can shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue and not get away with it.
The truth. What was happening with celebrities and in that industry was that he said, I could grab him by the pussy and get away with it because he's celebrity. Now you got guys like Weinstein and all of that. They did the same thing.
Then I don't want Weinstein for president, Phil.
You're comparing him to bad people.
Yes, you're comparing him to bad people.
The wife, though, too.
Oh, hey, I can excuse Trump
you're
because
not getting it. You're
thick.
What are you saying? What basically Phil's saying is he isn't as bad as Weinstein.
Yeah.
I like him though because he's entertaining though.
What I'm saying is that he exposed the industry for what it was, and you're using that and turning his words in a way to try to disparage.
Bill, you're making it sound like he was a hero when he exposed something. He was bragging. He was saying, yeah, I grab him by the butt, I go up to him, I kiss him, I can't help it. I grab him by the pussy, I do whatever I want. You make it sound like he came out and he exposed this terrible thing going on. Come on.
Anyway, hey, listen, there's the music. Whew, thank God there's the music. Boy, it just flew by.
I'm going to miss you next week.
Huh?
Yeah. Where you going?
I'm going to be gone next week.
Where are you going to go, Jeff?
I'm going to Cape Verde.
Oh, wow. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Kevin. Jeff, we'll see you in a week, I guess, huh?
Yeah, maybe I'll sneak in one day.
If you can, if you take a computer with you, you can call us.
Yeah.
No problem.
He should not go into Cape Fear.
Rob, thank you so much for calling us tonight, and thank you as much, Tony. I think it would be very nice if everybody who was there on the panel would wave goodbye to the audience. There they go. Isn't that a sweet bunch of people? You couldn't think we'd have that much arguing going on between us. Anyway, that's the citizen panel. That's the show for tonight. That's the show for this week. We're gone until Tuesday. In the meantime, there are some other programs that will be here, starting next with Jack Bishop and The Intersection, and that will be followed at what's wrong? Midnight tonight. At 1 o'clock this morning by Connections. I'll be back again, after Damian Chaplin is on Tuesday at 9:30, at 10 o'clock, same time, same station, live. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.